I'm Seth Kilbourn. I'm the executive director of Openhouse, as Roger mentioned. I'm going to, take take us down a different road than estate planning and financial analysis, and ask you to think about some other aspects of growing older as an LGBT person, and talk a little bit about what Openhouse does to facilitate and promote what I think is a very, very important part of the aging process, which is how we build community. Because staying connected to each other, staying connected to our networks, staying connected to our communities of choice, however we define that, are extraordinarily important to a healthy aging process. And no matter how healthy or financially secure we may be today, it's going to be true for all of us that we are going to need some sort of help down the road, whether that help comes from medical providers or housing providers or our network of friends or organizations like Openhouse. No matter what our income level and no matter what our security level is, so to speak, financially, we're going to need that help. And it's my vision, and it's our goal at Openhouse to establish, and maintain the opportunities for people to stay connected to their community, to make sure that you get the help that you need, to make sure that you are making wise decisions or informed decisions about what kind of housing you want, what kind of services you need, what kind of community activities you would like, because those are all part of a healthy aging process. To make sure that you're secure in your housing, to make sure that you have adequate services, particularly health-related services that you need, to make sure that you have community programs that you can be a part of. There are probably, estimates are that there are 25,000 LGBT seniors in San Francisco. That number is expected to grow quite significantly over the next 10 years as the baby boomer generation ages. And research, shows very clearly, again, no matter what your income level, that LGBT seniors are less likely to access, less likely to take advantage of, some of the community services that are available to the general senior population, because they are concerned about how they will be treated in those facilities, and they're concerned about judgment, they're concerned about compromised care. And so it's very important that we build an infrastructure whereby the system of care and support, housing and services, are LGBT friendly and are aware of the unique challenges that LGBT people face as they age. I sort of use this analogy often. This was true when I was younger, and I think it's true as we get older, right? We look for clues no matter where we go to make sure that the place that we're in, or the community that we're in, is LGBT friendly, right? We look for those. We look for those clues. And imagine a 75-year-old or an 80-year-old person who decides that they would like to start taking advantage of some of the services at the senior center down the street. They may have been out all of their lives, and they're going to walk into, it's like walking into high school again, right? You walk into this room with all of these, seniors around, seemingly, having fun, playing games, doing whatever it is that the senior center has to offer, and you sort of have to go through a whole process again of coming out. And that can be a really scary thing, when you are 75 or 80 and are looking, around this room thinking, well, can I talk about my life? Can I be authentic? Can I be the person that I've been for the last 75 years? And it's up to us as a community and up to organizations like Openhouse to ensure that those kinds of places are safe and welcoming. Whether we build our own kinds of services and our own community services, or take advantage of the services that exist out there already. And so I'm just going to talk briefly about housing, services, and community building. Those are the three areas that Openhouse focuses on. I think most of you know, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, Openhouse is working right now on building LGBT welcoming senior affordable housing at 55 Lagoon. We are well along the process of building that facility. We are extremely excited about it. This is our first housing project It will be focused, I think, on the most vulnerable in our community, which are low-income seniors, but it is our intention over time to look, to build other kinds of mixed income, market rate communities that are specifically LGBT welcoming. And I will ask everybody to kind of think about, your housing situation as you think about your, financial security, down the road. Are you hoping to stay in your home, throughout the rest of your life? Do you think that you might, need to or want to move into, some sort of senior living community? And if you do, I'd really encourage you to come talk to Open House, because we have great relationships with a lot of the providers of housing around the city, not just the low-income housing, but other kinds of senior housing. And so you might want to ask some questions. Do they have an LGBT community? Do they have, are other LGBT people living there? These are the kinds of things that I think you want to ask yourself as you're thinking about, your housing situation. Or if you want to stay in your own home, what kinds of help, what kinds of assistance are you going to need in order to make sure that you're able to do that? If you need eventually down the road, for example, in-home care, you're going to want to make sure that the person who's going to come into your house to provide that care, no matter what level of care that may be, you're going to want to make sure that that person and that those people are LGBT friendly and that they understand, your unique needs. Open House can help find those people for you as well. So as you think about, the future, I'd ask you to think about, the kind of housing situation that you want to live in. Open House is very much committed to either building our own or working with existing housing providers to make sure that there are plenty of LGBT welcoming options for our entire community. I do want to talk a little bit about services as well. We provide assistance to LGBT seniors to help them put together, in addition to a housing plan, also put together, sort of a service plan. And that depends, what that service plan looks like depends on, what your service needs are. Is it in-home care that you might need? Is it, medical care? Is it some other kind of social service? Again, we Open House provide some of those services ourselves. So we're able to provide, job counseling. We're able to provide we're able to provide a wonderful, friendly visitor program for seniors who are particularly isolated to make sure that they, can stay connected to their community. And again, it's important, I think, to think about and make sure that, those services that you think you're going to need over time are LGBT welcoming, and Open House can help you identify what those services are, what's out there for you, where there are LGBT-friendly services, whether we provide it or partner with another group to do it. And the last thing I want to talk about, which is really in some ways the most important, is really about community building. And Open House, provides literally, 120 hours every single month of various activities and socialization opportunities for the entire LGBT community. Those activities, range from discussion groups to yoga classes to meditation groups. We have a grief counseling group that meets once a month. We do outings to the community. We do museum trips. We do trips to movies. We provide as many opportunities as we can for LGBT seniors to come together and meet each other, support each other, participate in activities that keep them active, that keep them healthy, that keep them engaged. And again, no matter how much money you have, and no matter how healthy you may be today, you will be looking for over the next 25 or 30 or 40 years, opportunities for those kinds of activities. And maybe you're lucky enough, to have, a very wide network of friends and that informal network that will provide you with those kinds of opportunities. But I guarantee you that you'll be interested in the opportunities that exist out there provided by Open House or provided by other entities that provide more intellectually stimulating activities to bring you together with your friends and with your network. And research is absolutely 100% crystal clear that the more socialization activities and the more people can stay connected to each other in their communities as they age, the the healthier they'll be and the longer they'll live. And it's really up to us as a community to figure out what kind of infrastructure, what kind of community services, what kind of activities do we want to build for ourselves, in addition to taking advantage of the community services that already exist out there for all seniors. But what do we want to also build for ourselves to make sure that the LGBT community is particularly cared for? Because we do face some unique challenges that I think Roger alluded to. We tend, as we get older, to live alone. We tend, not to have children. And, spouses and children provide 80% of the long-term care in this country. And by long-term care, I mean everything from, advocate to finding, a new place for grandma to live to, figuring out what kind of assisted living facility, my mother might need to go into. Children and spouses do 80% of that work. And with an LGBT community that tends not to have those spouses and children, we are left to each other and to organizations like Openhouse to do that kind of advocacy and help plan through these challenges that I guarantee everybody will have. So, Openhouse is working on all of these fronts. We're building housing. We are providing services. We are building community activities. And there's information out on the table, which I hope you'll take a look at, which summarizes the kinds of things that we do. And I would really like to hear, I don't think today's forum is really the right one, but I hope that people will feel free to give me a call and give the organization a call, because I'd really like to hear from the folks that are in this room, what kinds of things could Openhouse be doing that you would be particularly interested in participating in? Because we want to be relevant to the entire LGBT community. We're focused right now with our housing, especially on the low-income, community, but we get many, many calls from people, who need help assessing, an assisted living facility or help assessing, a senior community they might want to move into. But I also really want to hear how we can be relevant on the activity side too. What kinds of things would you all be interested in participating in, so that we can build that over time and really be a vibrant and strong organization to serve the burgeoning number of LGBT seniors that are already there and that are coming down the road. And I probably went over my 5 minutes, but